Hello again. Just watched a rather interesting little video clip that one of my friends sent me. It's an overview by Ann Coulter on Muslims. And this has had like 471,460 views. And if you remember when the chosen one, Barack Hussein Obama, remember when he was in Cairo and he gave us all that bull crap about Muslims? Well, Ann Coulter goes through a series of events. And what's interesting is all of these events were carried out by Muslims. She's actually missed quite a few. But what's interesting is that none of the number of deaths were associated with any of these events, except for the Twin Towers. And I think they should have been, because the body count would have been mind-blowing. And she starts off by talking about the embassy in Tanzania that was attacked in 1988. And then in 1996, she talks about the U.S. housing complex that was attacked in Saudi Arabia. And then in 1995, she talks about 5 Americans that were killed. And then in 1993, we learn about the Twin Towers being attacked by the Blind Sheik. He's an interesting individual. And then we've got in 1988, Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie was blown out of the sky. In 1986, the West Berlin discotheque was attacked by Muslims. In 1985, the Aquila Laura was seized and an American was shot and thrown overboard by Muslims. In 1983, U.S. Marine barracks were attacked in Beirut by Muslims. In 1982, the U.S. Embassy was attacked in Beirut. And in 1979, it was all kicked off by Iran, where in Tehran, the U.S. Embassy was attacked, and the Americans that were in the embassy were held hostage for 444 days. By who? By Muslims. What's interesting is the day that President Ronald Reagan was inaugurated, those Americans were released. You see, this is what happens when you've got a president versus a usurper. What's interesting again is that all of these events were thousands upon thousands of innocent people were slaughtered. Americans were slaughtered by Muslims. And then we've got the Chattanooga shooting. We've got the San Bernardino shooting, again by Muslims. And there's many more. This doesn't take into consideration all the Christians that have been slaughtered. The guesstimate is it's over 1 million now. Over 1 million. And it's being done by Muslims. You think we might have a Muslim problem? You think maybe when the chosen one gave us the Cairo speech, like everything else, he's full of crap? I'm inclined to think that's the case. Listen to what Ann Coulter has to say. I did, which is where I got all the information that I'm using to make this video. And listen to how she handles the hecklers towards the end of her presentation at the university. Folks, if you don't think we've got a Muslim problem, you're sadly mistaken. There are no moderates. They need to be reclassified. And I've done that in countless videos. For the most part, they're polar bears. Now sure, there's a few that aren't, but the few that aren't are minuscule in comparison to those that are. You think this is going to stop? Wait until the chosen one takes control of the United Nations. You haven't seen anything yet.